Right. So we are beginning. Firstly, the first most important thing which I believe for the next 65 days, as far as your core preparation is concerned, is the extreme focus on the static part of the syllabus. Right. And in static, also we need to have some priority, right? What are the non-negotiable subjects? That is polity, right? Economics, modern history, environment, right? You should be absolutely comfortable and almost a pro in these subjects, right? And after you're done with this, your priority should be ancient, medieval, and then the remaining aspects of culture, right? The important aspects of geography, especially the physical geography, right? Basic idea of human geography, and in that, crops and cropping patterns, basic idea, right? Second, minerals and industries, right? This is only after you are done with this physical geography. And physical geography includes both the fundamentals of physical geography, that is your geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, right? And Indian physical geography, right? Indian physical geography, and especially the rivers part in that particular Indian physical geography, that is of utmost importance, right? Every year there is minimum one, and there can be two questions as well, right? So once you are done with this polity, economics, modern history, environment, right, you move on to the remaining aspects of ancient medieval culture, right, geography. And in geography, you move towards firstly the physical geography, these aspects, right, and then towards these aspects, right, and along with that, the basic mapping, right. So this much you need to target. Of course, along with that, one subject which is remaining is selective study. One second. Of science and technology, right? And in science and tech, what do we do? At least we can target basic biology, right? Of course, and I am not saying that just after this video ends, you go and start reading biology. First, you need to be clear that you have to do those 4, 5 subjects, 6 subjects, then you move on to this, right? And then biotechnology part, right? The basics, vaccines, RNA, DNA, gene, chromosome, right? Then the space part, you should be clear about the basics, right? PSLV, GSLV, what is geostationary orbit, right? Low Earth orbit, and all these concepts, right? Then, if you have some time, some idea around a very vague, basic idea around the missiles and defense part, right? But even if you don't do this, that is still fine, right? So, as far as static, I hope I am clear, right? Next is, even in these subjects, it is not that we have to focus on all topics equal, right? So there will be some topics which will need only one reading and they'll be done. For example, let's say the Prime Minister, right? Chief Minister, Council of Ministers. These are some topics which are very basic, right? You just read it once and you're done with it, right? There are some topics which might need 2 or 3 revisions, let's say preamble, right? While there are some topics which might need 8 revisions, 10 revisions, let's say the acts part, right? The viceroys, uh, the post 1939 developments, right? The constitutional bodies. So there is needed a segregation of topics as well. Okay, these are the topics I can revise just once, read just once, and I'll be comfortable. These are the topics which might need 2 or 3 revisions, right? And these are the topics which need as much revision as possible, right? So for convenience, we've tried to figure out the topics which are non-negotiable, right? You should be doing at least them, right? Just wait a second, I'll be sharing that PDF with you. Just 1 second.
Okay, do you have any question? Okay, your hand is raised. If you have a question, then you can ask. KK, am I audible to you?
So the PDF is not opening as of now, right? What you can do, I try to open it after the session or in the midway, right? What you can do on the main channel, that is SOM Guidance Telegram channel, there is one PDF by the name of outcome based program. In that particular list is given, right? If we can open it, right? If it opens in this session, I'll try to open it. Otherwise, you see that particular PDF, right? So at least around 60-70 topics are being listed, right? These are the topics you should be focusing. At least you should be clear in your mind that these are the topics I cannot miss at any cost, right? And I should have revised them minimum 3 times, right, before going into the exam, right? Sources, as far as sources is concerned, I think there is no need to detail these things. Sources, more or less, you people are clear. However, otherwise, if you have any particular doubt about any particular subject or as to what should be its source or what should be the best source for this, you can ask later in the quiz. Otherwise, it is not a very wise strategy at this moment to outrightly change your source, right? So whatever your sources you have followed till now, just stick with it, right? Do not get into that inferiority complex that okay, this source is bad, this source is good. If that is a conventional source, right, proper source, that is good, right? Whether it is Lakshmikant or whether if you have in 1% chance if you have followed DD Basu, right? All the sources are equally good, right? Whether it is Spectrum or some other modern history book, right? Next is, so we have discussed about the static part as to that our 70% of the effort should be dedicated toward completion of static part, right? And in the static part, what are the priority subjects, right? In the subjects, what are the priority topics? Of course, the priority topics list is not opening at the moment. We'll try to open it, but if it does not, you can go onto the channel and access that PDF, right? Next is the current, right? Contrary to popular perception that your entire effort should be dedicated towards the preparation of current, right? If you see the paper actual examination, current of course is an important part, but it does not make more than 20% of the paper, right? Or 25% of the paper, right? So your efforts also should be dedicated in that proportion, and static is that component which is more reliable. Current is not that reliable, right? So 70% of the efforts direct towards static, remaining you can direct towards current affairs, right? And even in current affairs, again, we need a priority. What is that priority? Major topics. And by major topics, I mean the topics which have some importance, right? It could be, you can say the national relevance, it could be international relevance, or something which was very important at that particular time, right? Let's say something which had a legislative bearing, a judicial bearing, or something like that, right? So major topics of economics, environment, and science and tech, right? Just like there was a prioritization in static, there is a prioritization in current affairs as well, right? These are the subjects you need to target first, right? No matter in what order the institutes are releasing the magazines, you should not be baffled or confused by that thing, right? You should be very clear in your mind that questions will come in that manner, right? Of course, we are basing our assumptions on the previous 5 6 year pattern, right? There is 0.001% possibility that UPSC might completely change it, and they might do what they had not done in past 9 10 years, right? But that is not a very wise strategy for us to follow, right? We will follow the strategy according to what UPSC has done in the past 5 6 years, right? So major topics of economics, environment, and science and tech. By major topics, I have cleared myself, and what should be ignored, you ignored all the trivial details, right? Every small little detail. Okay, this insect has been found there, right? This small little star was found there. It's something which does not have any particular significance. Let's say even if you're reading the space sector, right? What you should be targeting: initiatives by ISRO, initiatives by NASA, or any collaborative initiatives in which India is a major partner, right? Or something which has uh, repercussions for the global community, right? Do not be entangled in those small little things that, okay, Pakistan launched this satellite, Iran launched this satellite. Even if it comes as, let's say, a question in a match, right? Okay, match the following, or as a standalone question, the cost benefit is very poor, right? You will end up preparing 200, 300 extra facts, and there are no chances that you will be getting a question out of that, right? In fact, uh, in, rather than doing that, it is better that you focus on these aspects, the major topics, and if you have remaining time, you focus on your static part again, right? Then after you have done with this, you can focus on the social issues, right? Then you can focus on polity, and in this you just need uh, the major 7 8 7 to 10 topics which are of utmost importance, right? Because most of the times it is that the things which are being there in the PDF, in the current affairs PDF, are usually general, right? something which you feel is significant, let's say the national education policy, or a new government scheme, a flagship scheme, or something about a initiative around women, right? An initiative around transgender, or something like that, or a major constitutional development, right? Amendment act, or a law which has been brought in, right? These are the things you need to focus. Do not just go and try to read each and every detail which they have launched, right? Or each and every small initiative which is being taken, right? Of course you can do it, and if you can do it, it is very well, right? But the thing is, at the end of the day, on June 4th, you won't be able to remember it, right? This is the reality, right? The people who have given prelims earlier, they can relate to it very well, that at this moment it seems very likable that okay, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to do that, I'll remember each and everything. But you yourself know that it is absolutely not practical. It does not happen in the realistic scenario. So what happens in the realistic scenario, it is better that we target those things first, right? This culture, in my opinion, of course it is my personal opinion, culture can be outrightly left if you're already struggling on the remaining part, right? And the static part of the culture as well. If you have time for culture, it is the static part where you should be investing your time, right? Government schemes, of course, the documents are getting bigger with each year, right? 200 pages, 300 pages. Is it possible to do that? Absolutely not, right? What you should be focusing on, the major ministries: Ministry of Health, Education, Agriculture, Women and Child Development, right? Finance, right? And some flagship schemes of last 1 or 2 years, right? And even in these ministries, the major scheme should be your focus, right? By flagship schemes and the foundational schemes, I mean the schemes like Manrega, right? The schemes like Food Security Act, right? Awas Yojana, PM Kisan, then Krishi Sinchai Yojana, right? Of course, these are very old schemes, but they can be asked any day, right? And rather than memorizing too many trivial portals, it is better that you have solid foundations about these particular schemes, and these will be usually around 15 to 20 schemes, right? So if you are comfortable with these schemes, be rest assured that if a question comes on schemes, you'll be able to attempt it. And even if it comes, and if you're not able to attempt it, you would not have been able to attempt it, even if you had read those 300, 400 pages, right? Because it is absolutely not possible to read those 300 pages, right? The cost benefit is very, very poor. You'll end up spending 5 to 6 days, and then again you need revision for 2, 3 days, and you do not have that much time, right? So focus on these particular aspects, right? Now this is the particular thing I am saying you, this prioritization is for last 1 year, right? Or whatever the magazines bring, let's say last 1.5 year, right? If possible, if you are in that particular situation, you have that capacity, you have done your static very well, you have done your, last 1 year current affairs very well, you have solved mocks and everything, right? And you still have time, right? Let's say you have spare 10 days with you, right? I'll advise you that you do the same thing for last 3, 4 years, right? Take out magazines of, uh, let's say from 2019 onwards, right? And you can see, okay, what are the major initiatives on in those years, right? In economics, in environment, in science tech. Even if you do these three subjects, I think it will be fine. But then again, I'm not saying that you go right after this session and start doing this thing. First priority static, right? Then in the current, you do last 1 year, and then when you're done with that, you try to achieve this thing, right? Do not misinterpret what I am saying, right? This is important, but only when you are done with all other things, right? So we have discussed the static part. We have discussed one second. We've discussed the static part. We have discussed the current affairs part. Next is schedule. Right, of course, each one of you will have your particular schedule at this moment, but a general idea about what should be done, what should be minimum, which should be achieved by 4th of June, right? I'll say minimum of 3 revisions should be there, right? Especially considering the tricky questions which UPSC, the tricky options which UPSC is framing at this particular in the last 3-4 years. It requires that you have minimum 3 revisions so that you are able to analyze in that particular environment, right? Earlier, when the statements used to be, a bit simpler, even 2 revisions would have fetched you the thing, right? But now you need minimum 3 revisions so that you are able to analyze the things in that particular time frame, right? And minimum is 3, and the more you do, the merrier it is, right? First revision, I'll say, let's say you are starting from today, from April 1, you should be taking around 35 to 40 days, right? As in, this could be your reading come revision or revision, right? Depending on your own status. So by May 5th, you should be able to do it, right? Next revision, second, around 15 to 20 days, right? So by May 2025, right? The third revision, May 25 to June 4, right? Of course, this is very tentative and will vary as per your status, as per your preparation status. But do not go with this mindset that, okay, I'll be comfortable with 2 sets of revisions. Of course, you will be, right? But then there might be a compromise, right? You might end up compromising with those 5-6 questions where you could have attempted them had you done one more revision, right? So try to push your limits and try to achieve this thing minimum of 3 revisions, right? And let's say if you are someone who is comfortable, if your preparation had already been going very well, you can do is first revision 30 days or 25 days, next in 15 days, then next 10 days. Accordingly, you would have 4-5 revisions, right? But again, in revisions, the priority I've told you, there will be some topics where you will be comfortable with only 1 revision, some topics 3 revision, some topics 5 revision, right? Make an analysis according to that. It will, at the end of the day, it will be more comfortable for you to approach the things, right? And of course, it will be more mark switching as well. So we're done with this static current schedule, right? Next is the topic around MCQs, right? First priority, and this is my opinion, right? What I have seen. Of course, you can disagree with it. You may not follow it, but I think if you follow it, it will be a better strategy. Right. Firstly, target the previous year questions of 2013 to 2021, especially from 2016 to 2021. And if you can do of 13, 14, 15 as well, it is even better, right? The objective is you understand the pattern, the topics which UPSC is touching, understand the language of the questions which UPSC is framing. By reading those particular statements again and again, you will come to you'll analyze, okay, UPSC somewhere gives you a window to identify that, okay, this particular statement is wrong somewhere. Sometimes the statement would be very weird, sometimes the statement would be very close. So your mind would be wired according to that particular thing, rather than reading uh, unnecessary MCQs of any other particular coaching, right? It is better you first target your efforts towards the previous year question. Try to read those statements. Okay, what does UPSC want to convey through it, right? What is the language which it is trying to convey? Right? I'm not only saying about the content, but the essence which is there in the options, right? And again, through that, you will be able to analyze that okay, this particular logical technique is valid. Of course, you might have seen various logical techniques which are valid in the PYQs, and accordingly you'll be able to figure out that okay, with the time, let's say that the thing which was valid in 2016 was not valid in 2018, and which was valid in 2018 was not valid in 2021. So you will be able to figure out this thing that okay, uh, these particular techniques might have faded with time. Let's say data is always correct. Now that is not right, right? Now UPSC is giving statements where out of, let's say, 10 questions, in 2 or 3 statements data is also right, right? So according to that, you can come to one conclusion that okay, UPSC has elevated its scale, right? And data is not always incorrect, right? So according to, however, this particular logical technique, let's say XYZ technique, is valid even in was valid even in 2013 and has been valid even in 2021, right? So according to that, you can make a judgment that okay, there are certain techniques which have their importance has reduced, or UPSC kind of has identified that these techniques students were using, and now I should be a bit more cautious in exercising them. However, these particular techniques are applicable even today, right? How will you come to know? By analyzing these particular things, right? Read the statements again and again, right? Instead of spending too much extra time on extra mocks, right? Do this exercise, it will be much more marks fetching, right? Then if you are done with all of this, you can go for subject wise full length test, right? Of course, and in this you do not need to go in that traditional approach. I will solve 5 tests of polity, 5 tests economics, 5 tests environment, and every subject 5 tests, right? And I end up solving 50 tests, right? That is not I'm saying. I'm saying, let's say, if you are if you feel that after reading my economics, I somewhere feel the gap, or I need to test myself for economics, I'll solve 1 or 2 full length of economics, right? However, I am very much comfortable with modern history. I am very much comfortable with polity, and I'm comfortable with environment. Therefore, I will not solve full length test subject wise, right, of these particular subjects. So identify the subjects where you are somewhere struggling, and just attempt 1, 2, or 3, whichever number suits you of these particular subjects, right? So subject wise. Next is just 3, 4, or maybe 4, 5 FLTs you can attend, right? Of course, this can be in the later part of the preparation, that is, let's say, in the month of May, right? Or after April 20th, right? And in the full length, what should be done? The full length tests are not there to, increase your level of content. That okay, I have read these things from static, now I am getting certain things from full length as well, as far as content is concerned. No, the objective of full length is somewhat different, right? uh, you need to have a clear objective as to what I trying to achieve when I solve these full lengths. Of course, content enrichment, if you can, that is a very good thing, but that shouldn't be our primary objective. The primary objective is that you solve it from the perspective of that okay, which are the sections where I am struggling. Let's say through 3, 4 full length tests, you come to know that okay, economics is my weaker point, right? So what does that tell you? That you somewhere need to increase the number of revisions or the concepts of economics, right? The next thing which should be the objective of full length is time management. From 2018 onwards, completing the paper in 3 rounds is becoming challenging, right? And it has become even more challenging in 2020 and 2021, right? So managing the time, that okay, 3 rounds I'll try, let's say first round in around 80 minutes, or second round in 30 minutes, or maybe this in 75 minutes, this in 30 minutes, and the next round in 15 minutes, right? So am I able to achieve 3 rounds, right, comfortably? If I'm not, what do I need to do? Maybe I need to stick to the 2 round strategy, right? What does 2 round strategy mean? That okay, the the questions which I feel that I need to attempt at any cost, I'll probably do it in the first and second round, right? I won't leave it for the third round. So this particular thing, this particular time management is the thing you need to, that should be one of your objectives from the full length test, right? Next is maintaining composure, right? Especially the level of prelims is increasing. It is getting more and more complex in the last 3-4 years. And usually what happens, seeing the weird questions, you can say, or the irrational, or whatever you want to say, right? The nature of questions is becoming bit tough, right? So sometimes it becomes bit difficult to maintain that composure while solving the full in test. You should be in that zone that okay, if a difficult question comes, if 10 or 15 difficult questions come in one line, right, I need not lose my uh, poise, my balance. I need to maintain that composure, because if I lose my balance, I will somehow lose with respect to the person sitting next to me, right, or the person sitting behind me. So this should be one of your objectives of full length test, right? Next is one very important thing is correcting the easier questions. See, usually it is the easier question, and mostly, right, not usually but mostly, right, around 99% of the time it is the easier question which will throw you out of the game if they are attempted wrong, right? Let's say there is an easier question and you do it wrong, you will have minus 2.66. A person who is doing it right has plus 2, right? The relative gap which is being created and that person is around 4.66 marks. And if you uh, lose out on, let's say, 4 easy questions, the gap you are creating is around 18 marks, right? And when a person is scoring around, let's say, 105, and you are scoring around 87, right, 88, and the cutoff is 92, you might think that okay, this guy who has scored 105, I don't know what he has read, right? Or someone who is scoring 150. But the thing is, what they did was they just corrected those 5 6 easier questions, right? Of course there might be 2 3 difficult ones as well where they had bit more knowledge, but those things in the overall scheme of things are not very important. If you somehow you know after those 2 hours you are convinced that okay, I have not mistaken those easier questions, right? Those 30 35 easy questions, I have not done them wrong, right? Out of 35, my 34 are absolutely correct, right? You can be assured that you have done your job very well. Of course, that does not say that you'll be through that line, but it is that relative to others, you have done your job very well, and you have a fairly decent chance of qualifying, provided you have the net positive remains above that line, right? But do not mistake on the easier questions. If you make them incorrect, 5 6 easy questions, if you make them incorrect, probably you will never clear, right? This is like of course this is a very, a blunt statement, but you will never clear because you will end up creating a gap of around 4.7 marks per question. 6 question done wrong, 26 27 marks gone, right? And you will keep wondering as to what happened, right? But you'll never be able to figure it out, right? Next is we had discussed the, you know the tangible aspects, the static part we have discussed, the current part we have discussed, schedule we have discussed, the MCQs part we have discussed. Now the some of the intangibles which are equally important in this preparation, that is focus and discipline, right? Without having this in the next 65 days, uh, you will not be able to clear it, right? It is not that time of January, or it is not the time of December where you are in that comfort zone, in that lax mode, where you are studying 5 hours and in a discrete manner, and you still feel that okay, my preparation is still, within my reach, right? I'll be able to correct it. If you lose out on your focus and discipline at this particular moment, things are going to become very difficult in the end, right? So focus and this discipline is very very important, of course. And some things I can tell you, right? You need to figure out as to what needs to be done, but some things I can tell you which I feel is important and helps improve the focus. Screens as much as possible, keep yourself away from them. Of course, when it is needed that you need to read a PDF online, right? Try to keep your device on the airplane mode, right? Number two, you can use the Pomodoro technique, 25 5, 55 50 10, right? Whatever suits you. And if it suits you, right? It suits. Usually, this thing, if done in the right manner, helps improve your focus, right? Then there should be a daily target list. Preferably, this should be set the day, the one day before you have to achieve those targets, right? Let's say the targets of today should be set by when you retire for the night, right? And these should be very discrete. Okay, these are the 40 things I need to do tomorrow, right? List them down, right? So, and each thing done, you tick them, right? Okay, done, 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 done. So that each little affirmation that okay, I've done it, will send a positive signal to your brain that okay, this has been done, and it releases the positive hormones, and you somehow get a bit more push towards your final goal, that okay, I can continue. That is all the game of that small little doses of motivation, that yes, things are better, things are happening better, right? Then again, practically speaking, there will be n number of unwanted thoughts, right? This source, that source, that video, that particular faculty is bringing something, that particular coaching is bringing something, or maybe things related not to the preparation, right? If these things are disturbing you, right, keep a paper with you, right, and keep writing them. Tell yourself that okay, I know these things are disturbing me, but at the end of the day I will review these things, right? Because I know these are irrelevant things. So for the moment, I am writing these down and I'll come back to them at the end of the day. By this, your brain will be satisfied that okay, these things will be attended at the later in the uh, at the end of the day, right? So you'll be able to focus on what is the most important aspect, right? Next is stay away from Telegram, irrelevant channels, as much as possible. The only objective of which is to circulate more and more materials as the exam approaches, right? You can identify those channels very well. They'll just keep on posting five irrelevant questions every day, some new document every day, right? Stay away from these channels, leave those groups, leave those channels, right? Because none will hamper your preparation as much as these channels will do. Right? Of course, if there is some channel which is adding value to your preparation, it is giving decent, insightful info, right? While not burdening you with extra content, you can keep in touch with that thing, and you can set a particular, you know, okay, for 10 to 15 minutes every day, and that particular time I will visit Telegram. At the end of the day, if there's something important, I will see to it, right? Do not just okay, अब फिर टेलीग्राम देख लिया, फिर टेलीग्राम देख लिया, राइट? उसमें कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, राइट? उसमें there will be nothing new which will be added to your preparation. You will be compromising with your focus, and your focus is the ultimate weapon at this time, right? If you lose it, believe me, you are losing out on your preparation on your and your chances, right? Number three, unless you are required to do, say no to videos, right? Especially the videos which do not provide you with the notes, right? Students have a tendency, I will study this topic from the video, because in the instant moment it gives you a sense of, you know, a comfort, that okay, I'm not able to study, I'll be studying this from video. It seems easy at that particular point of time, but usually what happens, through the videos we are not able to revise the things. Videos can be used to, you know, understand the complex parts, complex concepts, but for the things where you can yourself revise from the book, let's say in half an hour, you need not watch a 3 hour video, right? Or a 2 hour video. And that too when they're not providing you with the notes, right? Because it is not about that 2 hour video. It is about that you will need to watch that video 3 times minimum to make some sense out of it, right? So unless it is a very, you know, something which adds to your preparation, something which you have not done in your preparation till now and you feel it is essential, watch it, right? Maybe at 1.5x where you are able to comprehend it. But if you feel that okay, acts are there in my Lakshmikant, then I understand it, right? Do it from your Lakshmikant or your spectrum rather than, you know, scavenging those videos and everything, right? It will not make any positive change in your preparation, right? Lastly, right, try to, you know, somehow achieve this thing. 15 to 20 minutes, a walk, a jog, right? Some lightweight lifting, something which, you know, some physical exercise, and 5-10 minutes of meditation. Won't take more than 30 minutes, half an hour of yours, but will keep you more disciplined, right? And will keep you more mentally focused, right? Of course, this is not a very easy thing to do as the exam approaches, but if you are able to integrate it, believe me, you will, you know, up your output, your productivity a lot, right? Next is the last particular some things, attitude. You need to have a positive attitude, self-confident attitude, right? Why? Because you need it in the next 65 days as well as you need it in those crucial 2 hours. If you go with a self-defeat attitude that okay, I've lost it, that means in the next 65 days, right? And in those 2 hours, if you are in that negative attitude that nothing can happen now, nothing can happen now, I've lost it, right? uh, Most likely 99.9% you will lose it, right? So have that adequate confidence that okay, things are well, things are going well, right? And wherever you need to make it, right, of course at some particular junctures we need to have it, that fake it till you make it attitude, right? Okay, even if it is not happening, I'll be comfortable, right? Because I feel that if I stay in the process, I'll make it happen, right? So tell your brain things are fine, right? Your brain will try to disturb you, but be comfortable, right? Tell it that okay, all is well, I am fine, right? Things are well. Okay, there was a disruption of 4 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, but I have done this much this before today, right? And I have that confidence that I can jump back, right? So have that attitude with you and be a bit humble, right? Because let's say you want to ask certain doubts to someone, your friend, your senior, or someone else, right? Maybe your faculty. uh, if you'll be humble, you will be able to approach them, right? If you are like, I know everything, I don't need to approach anyone, you will be having that thing that okay, what will they consider if I ask them this question, right? So do not carry this. Your ultimate game is to, ultimate objective is to clear the examination, and whatever it takes to achieve that thing, we'll do that, right? Just a small story, I shared it on channel also, like if you have read it, you will be knowing it. Let's say there are two students, A and B. A is confident, B is, you know, a bit hazy. Uh, some days he's confident, some days he's not. So in that thing, B loses out on 10-15 days, right? And in 10-15 days, he and A does not lose out. A utilizes those 10-15 days very well. A prepares around 50 topics more, 50 to 80 topics more. B loses out on those 50-80 topics, right? Out of these 50-80 topics, UPSC asks 5 to 8 topics, right? Or let's say 3 to 4 topics. That means around 8 marks, 8 to 10 marks, right? The gap created is of 10 marks, right? A clears the cutoff by 5 marks, B loses the cutoff by 5 marks, right? So effectively, the gap was created in those 10-15 days where A was motivated, he was confident, he had a positive attitude, and B had, somewhere an attitude where he was feeling defeated, right? External motivation, of course, at times it is needed to simulate ourselves, but in these last days it will not be the final thing which will take you to your final goal. The thing which is needed is discipline and focus. The more you remain in that system, the more you will be able to achieve the things, right? So of course, in every 5 days, 6 days, 4 days, you need 5 minutes of motivation, that is fine. But do not think that it is only the external motivation which will push you. It will not, right? Create that particular disciplined routine. Okay, I will wake up by 6, be at my study table by 7, study from this to this, then break, this to this, study, then break, I'll sleep, right? This is the thing which actually take you to your goal, right? Not the random videos and everything, right? So these were the some of the intangible aspects of preparation which are important, equally important as the tangible aspects, right? So I am done with my what I had to communicate.
Okay, Sahil sir. So guys, almost each and every nitty-gritty have been taken care of by Sahil sir. I will be just touching one or two aspects of the preparation life, or say what we have to do or what we have to avoid. So first thing, Sahil sir mentioned about the scheme thing, where I will suggest you guys to just look after index itself. What you will file in the index itself, be it any magazine, okay, monthly magazine, you will find that they have given schemes under the ministry heading only. And try to have comparison. For example, Ministry of Commerce Industries, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Both look similar. So you might get confused. Ministry of Culture or Foreign Ministry. It might be confusion sometimes. because of some exchange program or something. So you do this. Second, like in the last 2-3 months, what we have found in our mentees that you guys are going for your comparison mode. That how your peers are performing and how you are performing. So sometimes it motivates you. Sometimes what happens? It demotivates you. In the case of motivation, or say healthy competition, it's perfectly fine. But if you are feeling that they are able to do so much, they are able to do so much, then always remember, everyone have their own capacities and you have to work accordingly. So what you have to do, you have to stop asking other people what you have done. Because studying 12 hours is not that you should aspire for, but studying effective 8 to 10 hours or 11 hours is what you should aspire for. When I say effective, I keep all these activities aside, which you have done. For example, as sir mentioned, looking at screen. For example, you started a discussion on call. For example, you started daydreaming that I will be IAS. Or you end up doing irrelevant things. Second thing that, as we have said, that UPSC level question is made by UPSC only. So while doing previous year questions, make sure that these questions are generally basis of next year questions, or the options present over there have some feature that will help you in the elimination of 1 or 2 options in your next examination of UPSC. So whenever you guys are attempting past year paper, please do give a detailed look to their options as well. When I say detailed look, it doesn't mean you have to do PhD over it. You have to have a basic idea, so that when you find something similar to that option, or sometimes that option itself becomes question in the next years of UPSC, you will be able to eliminate. At least you will be having a vague idea. I have read it somewhere. That is the moment where you have to trust your subconscious mind. When I say subconscious mind, it means the questions, the portion that you feel that I have read it somewhere. Yes, I have seen it somewhere. You have to just mark it over there. Am I clear? You have to put faith on your subconscious mind. Yes, whatever am I marking, it will be good. Second thing, over or excessive use of brain sometimes give you negatives. So what we suggest, that don't try to give more than required time to any questions. If you are able to analyze, good. Don't try to make any connection forcefully. You will end up losing their marks. Last thing, while solving MCQ, generally, your first impression is correct. When we again apply our brain forcefully, we make that question wrong. Now it is high time to find your sweet spot. When I say sweet spot, it means number of attempts that you have to do. You have to identify, either you have to attempt 95 questions, 90 questions, 85 questions. You have to prepare mentally. It is like, if paper is easy, it might be a case that you can go up to 90, 95. If it is not, still you will be attempting somewhere 85 to 90. Generally, people do that. 85 to 95 is the bracket if you don't have high accuracy, which is generally missing in these years, especially after the complex nature of paper. Now, whatever we have to share, we had to share, we have done that. Now, stage is open for you guys. If you got any questions, any query, just let us know. I and Sahil sir are here for you guys, and we will try to sort out your problems with our best of capabilities. Anyone?
Good evening, Utkarsh sir and Sahil sir.
Yeah.
Sir, like for the candidates who are preparing for a quite long, sir, like the preparation and the revision cycles, it has become monotonous. So how to achieve that thrilling sentiment again? Like how to make the revision cycles and all these preparation part more exciting? Like, are there some techniques or like?
Okay. So those who are in this cycle from very long time, or say 3-4 years, what I suggest to them, it becomes monotonous because you repeat the same things. And same things won't produce different result if you are stuck in prelims. Suppose if you are clearing prelims, then I will say it should not bother you if monotony is bringing you result. But yes, if the cycle or say strategy is monotonous and results are same and you are still sticking at prelims, then there is an issue. Okay, so we are talking right now just for the prelims first, from the prelims perspective itself. So how to break that monotony? First, you have to analyze what the mistakes you have done in the past. Because these 65, 60 days is not about the monotony. You have so much to do, you cannot be bored. You cannot be monotonous. Suppose you are not good at mapping, you have to give time over there. Suppose you are not good with history, you have to give time over there. But now you have to change. Suppose earlier you used to read from your notes only. It means you were missing at reference books, you have to go back. So again, that excitement comes. And if it is about your question is about inner motivation, okay, not about the strategy. If I configured it wrong, then inner motivation is something which you will be upholding. Again, a very simple quotation. Whenever you feel lost in any journey, you have to think. You have to think about why you started. If that why is strong, believe me, people even after 6 attempts do not feel that if they get one more attempt, they will not be zealous. They will again go back to their studies. They will have the same zeal. If your why is weak, then I will suggest to find out why in this attempt itself, because you have already given n number of hours, n number of years. So to go back, we generally get motivation in the 3 aspects. First, parents. You have already saw desperation, a feeling of, I will say, what should I say, like sadness when they say that you are in this cycle. Anyone can feel motivated when they will think about their parents. Second, perk and perks of the services. Everyone loves the lifestyle of IS, IPS, I guess, if we are preparing. Power, prestige. Sometimes you can think you can smile, yes, it will work. Fine. Last but not the least, this is not the motivation factor. मेरी शादी में जरूर आना, अब इंतकाम देखेंगे and all. Okay, so avoid that, jokes apart. Third motivation factor, it is your studies, your love towards your studies. If you feel that books belongs to you, you will feel motivated. Abhay, was I able to answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll
Okay.
try.
Just one more thing to add is,
Yes, sir.
see, at times what happens now, after repeatedly, if you are not clearing, what happens, we somehow miss on the core thing, right? Let's say we try to search out for the peripheral things, which are the reasons for our failure. What I mean, okay, this source is not working, my strategy is not working, this is not working, but what happens at times, it is just 2 or 3, 4 questions which we are repeatedly doing wrong. Let's say if you are in your third attempt, right? Go back to your previous 2 attempts, right? The question paper of those 2 years, right? See if there were 5, 6, 7 questions where you stupidly did the mistake, right? Okay, even if I give you at this particular moment, you will mark all the 6 correct, right? But you did all the 6 incorrect there, right? If that is the case, you will come to a conclusion that probably there is nothing wrong in my strategy. It is just that I am not correcting the easier questions, and those 6 question means that I have lost around 16 marks because of that, right? So probably nothing was wrong in your strategy. No need to change anything. You can trust your books, trust your strategy. Just that you need to correct the easier questions. So if this is one scenario, because I've seen in many students' case, this is a scenario, right? Figure out if you have given earlier attempts 21, 20, right? Were there easy questions where I did the mistake? If it was, probably this is the only change which you need, right? This can be a possible case, right? So I'll say try to figure out if this is the thing.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure.
Fine. So Surya has a question that what if you have not done some monthly magazines or you missed out 2-3 months? So Surya, like this is the time of revision. If you have missed out 2-3 months, I guess you can directly go to the yearly compilations and directly do yearly compilations only, rather than wasting time on the like 2 months is still we can cover. If it like more than 3-4 months, then I will suggest that stick to yearly compilation, revise through them only, because in monthly magazines you have mains perspective as well. Since you have done almost 8 months or 9 months magazine at your disposal, you have at your disposal yearly compilation will be easy to revise. And as Sahil sir have already suggested that we don't have to put more than required time in our current affairs. So because output is not that great. Fine. I hope I was able to answer your question, Surya. Fine. Yeah. Anyone else? Guys, if you don't have any question, then could you please type no in the chat box so that we can confirm? Guys,
Hello,
quick yes.
sir.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Sir, I want to ask again, if I want to start like a whole year magazine or something like PT 365 or something, like go by only index and having some sense of like what topics covered in whole year, or I start like reading like proper monthly magazines.
No, if you have see like suppose you have to do 12-month magazines, okay, and if you have covered 10 months, then certainly 2 months can be covered within next 10 days. It won't take more than 10-15 days, okay. But suppose you have done only 5-6 magazine, like you have remaining 6 magazine or 7 magazine, then I suggest directly move to the yearly compilation.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Any more questions, or type yes or no in chat box so that we can conclude this meeting? Okay. Sir, CSAT dilemma as usual. My last attempts are flawed due to paper 2. How to tackle it? Okay, Coco. So for the CSAT, what we suggest that first you identify your weak areas, be it reading comprehension, be it mathematics. If your weak area is reading comprehension, then the very tested strategy is there. What you do, suppose 2020 paper as well as key from UPSC is available to us. You attempt 2020 paper on your own, then see the answer key. See how much you deviated. Then see why you deviated. What was the UPSC methodology behind selecting option? Okay, So you just try to copy that thought process or thinking process. Fine. Then what you will do afterwards, just mention in 2019 paper, same strategy, or say apply same strategy, the one that you replicated from UPSC answer key, that yes, UPSC thinks this way. Then you attempt 2019 paper. You will find your comprehension has improved. Similar way, solve CSET paper is available till 2013, I guess. You can solve up to that. Fine. This is the way for reading comprehensions. Second, when we talk about mathematics, quant logical reasoning part. Okay. So for logical reasoning, I will say practice any basic book. Okay. Logical reasoning is the part where you can, like, if you devote only 30 minutes daily, you will be able to do required logical reasoning for UPSC within 15-20 days, not more than that. For the practice, I will suggest that use any banking magazine, be it BSc magazine, be it Banking and Awareness. Okay, you can practice questions from them. These magazines have the latest pattern question. You can practice quant questions from them as well. Now coming to the quant question, how to handle quant. So for quant part, what I suggest, you have to identify your areas. See, every one of us done 10th and we have completed our mathematics paper in the board. So it is not like that like we don't have acumen of mathematics. Okay. So we have to identify which portions are easy to tackle. For example, for me, it's easy to tackle man work days percentage, but I'm not good with the interest rate. I will not attempt the interest rate question. Suppose I'm not good with number system, I will avoid it. I'm not good with algebra, I will avoid it. But at least out of 8 topics, we are good with 4 or 5. We time, speed, distance. Logical reasoning is something which will fetch you marks if you put the required efforts. So you should ensure that you will be matching these two. Okay. Because in CSET paper, what we require 66 marks, 33% only. It means we have leverage to leave the questions. It is not like that we have to attempt each and every question. Am I clear? Thus, you have to identify what you don't have to attempt in mathematics. Logical reasoning, you have to maximize your score. Third part and the last part, reading comprehension, time and tested. Like everything we have done it. It has given the results. Go to the previous year, 2021 paper will also be available along with the answer key after the results. You should look at that as well. So this way you will be able to cater CSET. Hope I was able to answer your question, Coco. So Arunan, sir, can I revise with the summary notes PDF at this point if I have not made the proper notes of Lakshmikant? I often tend to read entire book. Okay, so if summary notes are there, like still I will say, like, sometimes you just look at the book, skim through the pages. You will just look at the page, you will remember each and everything which is missing in the summary notes. So summary notes are good, but that is last resort. A reference book should not be avoided, and last resort should be adopted only in the last month, I guess. So still you have April month at your disposal. Certain chapters are there of Lakshmikant. Just skim through the pages. You have somewhere underlined, you have somewhere made arrow lines, somewhere you have encircled. Those episodic pictorial memory will force your brain to remember whatever you have read earlier. This way you won't be missing the book. Hope I was able to answer your query as well.
Arunam, this will not be a very wise strategy for a subject like polity, right? You may adopt it for somewhat like, let's say, you're not comfortable with ancient medieval or some subject like that. In the last, you may go for it, right? But a subject like polity, which will give you 8 to 10 questions minimum, right? It is not a very wise strategy. So if you decide to go in this way, you might be at loss. At least you should be doing the major chapters from the book itself, right? Fundamental rights, DPSPs, right? The center-state relations, emergency provisions, president, parliament, state legislature, local bodies, constitutional bodies, right? At least this much should be done from the book. The rest, smaller chapters, you may go through the summary notes, but no, not recommended to follow entirely the summary at this point of time.
As I said, that it should be last resort, and last resort should be applied in the last month itself, not now. Fine. Last month, even in the last 15 days, I guess. Okay, Surya, session is good and to the point. Thank you, Surya. Thank you for such a nice recognition and comment. Good evening, sir. I joined late this session. I want to ask, my score in test is not getting so good. I feel demotivated. Can you please suggest me what to do? I don't feel static part and I even don't feel in static part and what should do? Static and current for science and tech. What should do for? Okay, Sahil sir, we have recorded the video now.
Yes.
Okay, AK, it won't be possible to like again tell each and everything like what to do. We will share the recording. Okay. We have discussed static and current. Sahil sir has discussed each and everything over there. We will share the recording. And for the score part, I would like to answer you that see, a score is something to all of you. First time when you are appearing for the test, it means you are just revising your concepts. Okay. So score is something you should not bother about. A score should increase with the time. Suppose in the second revision or third revision, your score is not increasing. Then it is the issue of tension or say stress. Then you should think what went wrong, what is going wrong. Okay. So it means there is a possibility that you are not understanding the concepts or issues with your strategy. Fine. So in that case, again, you have to go back to your basics. And if you are attempting it for the first time itself, don't worry, AK, it is fine. Sometimes low score, but make sure that after attempting, you go back to your solutions, and not only solution, go back to your reference book as well. When you go back to your reference book, what happens? You just don't look at the content or the issues that you are facing. You go back to the areas related to that area, like if you're reading fundamental rights, you won't suppose you got a question wrong somewhere from article 21 related. You read fundamental rights article 20, 21, 19 as well, 17. So it is like chain. So you revise whole chapter indirectly. Fine. Okay. Now, thanks, sir. Thanks for the suggestion. Thanks a lot, sir. Okay, fine. Fine then. Any more questions or doubts? Do let us know. We will try to help you out. Else, guys, any questions, any doubt? Thank you, Trisandhya. Thank you. Okay, Sahil sir, it seems no more doubts are there. Any parting words from your side?
Just these words that whatever we have discussed, that in the last 1 hour, right? If you are able to, implement it in a practical manner, in a sustainable manner, the results will be far more fruitful and far more, positive than not following the strategy, right? Of course, you can have tweaks and turns according to your particular requirements, but more or less, if you follow this strategy, things will be good on 5th of June, right?
Fine. So guys, that's all from our side, and believe us, like we as a SOMP team will be willing to have some more open sessions, maybe some revision sessions as well. And we are planning to come up with some new courses, new strategies that we are willing to share with all of you, and more open sessions will also be there till prelims. And we believe in hand-holding approach, and believe us, have faith on us. We will try to help as much as possible. Thanks for being so patient and giving time to us. Okay, and very good night and all the best for your examinations. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.